to begging for mercy, and I will never stop killing you. Oh shit.
Hey, Scarlet.
It's gaming, isn't it?
Yes,
No, I
it is.
said hi. I just said hi.
No! No! Gaming! 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 Deku, Deku! Revive me, revive me, revive me.
What the
What? What happened?
Oh, he sniped me! Alrighty, guys. Today we're doing stuff and things. It's been probably 4 days since we last went live. I was gonna go live on Friday, and then I had something else come up that I ended up being got myself finding myself enjoying in my life. We now have officially you know within one of those detailed things, the thing that I've gotten myself really enjoying lately is The Sims again. I've got back into playing The Sims 4. Now of course I said I wouldn't go back to playing an EA title, or in the sense of utilizing the or utilizing things for that nature, but I've decided that The Sims 4 is the only title, is one of those titles that I love to deal with, for a lot of reasons. And a lot of the Sims stuff, a lot of the things that I have got to enjoying is basically The Sims is a franchise that I've been playing for quite some time now, or since basically forever. And I've played The Sims 1, I've played The Sims 2, I've played The Sims 3, I have played The Sims 4, I've played every PC Sims known to man. I've not played every console sim though. I've played The Sims 1, I have played The Sims 2, on console. I have not played The Sims 3, but I have played The Sims 4 on console. So, and The Sims 4 is the only one that is relatively in line with the system itself. That is the same as PC. Without mods, basically. The only difference between the two is mods and no mods. And I found a mod section that I use now for the mod for The Sims that now allows for me to basically turn it from a teen-rated game to an M-rated title. To an A-rated title, actually, to be honest. So basically, it's just one of those things that I got myself hooked on it. So, but um, but one of the things that I just noticed as I passed a freaking red light. But some of the things that is out there is just that's basically what I have been addicted to right now, or loving The Sims right now for it. Pretty much basically playing The Sims, and basically enjoying the game. I have enjoyed The Sims pretty much basically since the day I played The Sims 2. And to be honest, the best Sims title out there outside of The Sims 4 is The Sims 2. Pretty much basically my favorite. If I had to put rank every Sims title to be had, I'm gonna tell you, The Sims, uh, uh, and I'm gonna tell you we're gonna include console on this too. Um, The Sims 1, basically ranking from the best to the worst. We're gonna put Sims 2. Well, let's do it the other way. Let's put it the worst Sims to the best Sims. Now, these are only the main line titles. I have not played everything. Most of this is gonna be mainline, but some of it will be the My Sims. Is at the bottom. I am not a big fan of the My Sims. Um, for it. I am not a big fan of The Sims 2 on the PSP. I am not a fan of those three titles right there. That I will not go back into playing. For it. I'm not a big fan of My Sims. The My Sims franchise is not my favorite either. Don't even get me started playing on My Sims. The those are the worst titles ever. Now I have not played the the Sims Bustin' Out. But I have played the original Sims 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I've played and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a big fan of the after playing The Sims for the console. The Sims, I like The Sims. I will tell you, I will play The Sims 1, for sure. But The Sims 1, for console is a little bit better, for it, and then I like the Sims 3. Sims 3 is a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's not the greatest thing, but I love The Sims for that. And then the other one that I absolutely love, that I absolutely find myself really loving and enjoying, is The Sims. That I find that I enjoy is, yes, I enjoy The Sims 3 on the on that. Now, The Sims 3. Now the reason why I'm going to tell you why I don't like the other types, the My Sims, it just does not feel like The Sims 3. It does not. I also am going to tell you the reason why some other things that I do not like is primarily The Sims through uh, The Sims 2. on the the reason why I don't like The Sims on the PSP or The Sims 2 on the PSP is because it's not like what I expected it to be. For it. I will tell you, The Sims Life Stories. I like The Sims Life Stories. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic game, but it's not. It's not like the thing is you can't really modify the game. You really can't do a lot of things. The Sims Life Stories basically is just a basic is just basically a The Sims 2, but on a macro level, on a level that does not allow for um, the process to basically make the game modifiable, and it does not have a lot of features that you would probably might expect from like The Sims 2. It is supposed to be more lightweight, built for laptop kind of thing, built for the ability for lighter end users at the time for that game. And I like that game too, don't get me wrong, but would I go back to play it? Maybe. But some of the other titles out there that are, that I have played pretty much that are PC oriented is I love The Sims 2, The Sims 1 and The Sims 2. They're great. Like, and to be honest, putting the Sims 1 and then putting The Sims 2 right after. The Sims 2, basically, if you had a city in SimCity 4, you were able to bring that into your to your city, to bring that into The Sims. It allowed for you to bring in the Sims for Small Lot City into the game, and you can also bring in your Sims 2 to the Sims City. And it was great, and it was a thing that tied the Sims together. But unfortunately, the Sims, that a lot of people think that I am that The Sims 4 is not that great. I will tell you, it's still not the greatest Sims to be had. But to be honest, the Sim. To be honest, my I'm putting my Sims at the bottom, and then I'm putting The Sims 2 on portable. And then I'm gonna put Sims 2 Castaway right up above it. The game that allowed you to basically go out and thrive and survive. Be able to build on an island. I've only ever played the DS version. I have not played the PS2 version. And I have not played the PC version of Sims Castaway. And I'm wondering if it's Sims 2 Castaway or if it's Sims Castaway. I don't remember. It's been forever since I've played that game. But to be honest, I was not a big fan of that kind of thing. I was more of a fan of The Sims 2 on the PC. Now of course, I'm going to tell you that The Sims 1 is going to be right up there with the right as a game that I would play again, but it's not going to be one that I would prioritize as the best game ever. And then The Sims, um, and I'm gonna put The Sims 2, not the console, not the PS2 GameCube version, but I'm gonna put The Sims 2 PC edition, right here. That I would go and play it again. I haven't played the Legacy editions of both of them, but, the only other title, that I have basically for PC, actually, no, I've played, The Sims 3, I'm gonna put right up above it. Like, I would go play The Sims 3 more than I'd play The Sims 2, because it's more openness, more open world, more built around for it. But the only reason why The Sims 3 is better than The Sims 1 is, or better than that, even better than the console version, is because of how openness it is, and how open the franchise is towards that. Now, of course, you know, the only other game that I highly recommend is The Sims 4. Now, of course, I'm going to tell you I do not like the way that they're going with it, though. So it's kind of not as the best Sims in my book. I might even say The Sims 3 might be better than The Sims 4, but the only reason why The Sims 4 is better than Sims 3 or any of these other Sims games prior is because of the ability to make your game a little bit more friendly to being LGBTQ friendly, and being highly for that. And that's kind of why I give the Sims 4 better than the Sims 3, is because of that feature. I don't like the direction that they're going with it on a lot of things. On it, because they're a lot of things that really do, like, I'm not a big fan of having to daily check in to unlock things. I'm not a big fan of battle passes. I'm not a big fan of things like that when it comes to the packs. I'm not a big fan of what they're doing with the packs and stuff. But the gameplay wise, the game itself is great. Now, of course, you know, I've played The Sims 3 more than any other title. I've purchased way more packs for The Sims 3 than I have done The Sims 4. But there is some some other stuff that basically put The Sims 4 not quite the best Sims in its entirety because of that reason. If they hadn't introduced that, it's, even if they hadn't introduced it, it still wouldn't be the highest thing, because right now the highest rated Sims title ever, and most people will probably be like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about The Sims 2 on the PS2, to be more precise. The Sims 2 on the PS2 and GameCube is the best. It is absolutely the best, hands down, game ever. And the reason why I'm saying that, and why I'm putting that as a higher rank than any of the other Sims titles, is because The Sims is pretty much basically you get to move your character around. You actually get to control that character that you create, that you build. You get to build your home on plots that, yeah, they're, you only get to build it on certain locations. It's not as feature rich, but I think if we can, I think I could probably maybe figure out a way to bring back that The Sims 2 and bring it into um, creating something a little bit, creating it different, and bring it back as if you're building your home like you would build on like a PS4, um, like what The Sims 4 has, but only um, maybe make it like The Sims 3 graphics, and then turn it into update the graphics to basically meet like The Sims 3, and then take the PS2 gameplay and stuff and modernize it with The Sims 4. Take a little bit of elements from The Sims 4, and then take a little bit of the elements from Sims. Take the graphical style, bring in like The Sims 2, where but take the Sims 2 console, allowing you to control, and then bring it kind of like take that only instance, and then take the Sims 4 instance from. Okay. Now, where are we supposed to? We are supposed to go to Takahushima. Um, now, now, how much? Now, we know that that's 12 hours trip time. We need to check. That's a 7 hours there. Okay. If I were to say, that's a 7 hour trip time. Now, I think that's the only place that we can. Now we could go to Osaka, but that's a 12-hour trip time. But Osaka is down here, and we don't want to do that. So we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to take this 7-hour trip time. But yeah, The Sims pretty much basically is the importance of why The Sims 2 is just so much better. In all of its entirety. I can't stress this enough that The Sims has basically created that was the best created Sims game ever. And I love The Sims. To be honest, Sims has been the thing that I've loved every Sims title, mainline title. They're still all great games. Nothing, I don't have a lot of gripes with it. Just the way that they're going with on The Sims 4 though, of trying to make sure you have to log in daily to get these things, to get some of these objects. Now, of course, if they say, oh, you log in daily to get these objects, but then you missed them, you can buy them to unlock later. But then, so yeah, so I've basically been on playing that over the weekend. Found some adult mod thing. They just need to figure out, Linux needs to figure out some way to get Vulkan working for this game. I mean, SCS needs to get Vulkan working for this. They need to have Vulkan available for it. And I think that they need to get Vulkan going because OpenGL is not the, like, still having the ability to use OpenGL for it is a good idea. Because I don't, because I wasn't having this issue playing on DirectX on Windows. Like I don't understand the DirectX. Like I understand like DirectX, this was built for Windows in mind, but they need to really bring in Vulkan. Um and they need to focus on bringing Vulkan availability so that we can actually have Vulkan for this game. Like having OpenGL and Vulkan, like having OpenGL is something as extra is great, but they need to work on getting Vulkan. Because Vulkan would definitely help improve on this game a lot. Um, they just need to figure out a way to do it. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it's been enough time that we've sat down and talked about The Sims a little bit early. We should probably get into some topics. Pretty much basically one of the major topics of discussion today is the importance of understanding that that we have some issues with LGBTQ, and LGBTQ is one of those things that is, especially the trans people are being hurt more than any other communities, to be honest, because, you know, and non-binary people are getting hurt too, but the trans people are the one that are getting the most brunt of this. You know, we've had issues like with bathrooms and things, but now, and even being able to get those things, now they're starting to force detransition. They're creating a detransition clinic, requiring to create it in a place of a thing that, no, if you're gonna allow to have a detransition, you have to allow for transitional care. You have to give both. If you're not willing to have the, if you're not willing to have um if you're not willing to have the care to take the uh to give them the detransition care, you have to give them the trans care. You have to give them both. If you're going to have the detransition, you have to give them both. But no, they won't do that. They don't want these people transitioning. They don't want any of them to transition. They would rather put us back, put us in the closet, keep us away from society, and force us to be this. You can't go out and put this care that is there. Like, I was going to talk about this on Friday, but I had an issue with the game not wanting to load or run. So I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to go live. I'm not going to risk going live on my laptop because I don't think I would be able to play a game and go live at the same time. I need to upgrade my laptop if I'm going to do that at any point. Because there's no point in me going through a laptop and just being able to go through that. But So and I've been playing not a lot of games on this laptop anymore. On extensive games, like I can't play like a lot of modern titles, um, except from maybe a handful of modern titles. Like not like it's outside of the purview of an RTX setup. Like I am not like I've been trying to look for a laptop. And it's very hard because as soon as I sell my, because as soon as I'm able to find one, um, with the AMD graphics card, not Nvidia, AMD. I am not wanting to have an Nvidia graphics card. I want an AMD full on built um for it. But anyway, um and it's just crazy. That's why, because I don't want to support Nvidia, but I know AMD is doing the same thing. But I want to have it for um leave this laptop on Windows just for streaming and stuff, but then having a full AMD laptop for Linux. Like I've been wanting to just get away from Windows as much as I can, um, and as much as I can because I don't like Windows. I have kind of given up on Windows these days. Like if you're a content creator, you will have plenty of time to go through and utilize Kden Live. You have Shotcut, which is what I use. Um, you have the um, you have the ability to use GIMP. Yeah, you might not like the ability to you know you might if you're somebody that's like me, just creating a content for GIMP. Yeah, it might not be the greatest thing, but you can at least use it, and you're only creating thumbnails and things like that. You can easily swap over. If you're somebody like me who just there, it's easy to swap over if you're just a content creator making content directly just through other means. If you're a gamer, you can still do it, and it's great. And it's always a great thing to transfer and do. But it is not great um when you have content that's directly related to um utilizing that thing. But anyway, we're getting off topic. We're getting off track. But with the detransition stuff, they basically a lot of these people who detransition because of financial concerns or financial stability. Like if you want to transition, you have to spend it all on your own. You can't just um, go out and um, be able to. It costs tens and thousands of dollars. It's cost you thousands and thousands of dollars into the 10,000s to just get the surgery done and to get things like that. It's not cheap, especially when you don't have insurance that will cover it. You know, and insurance wants you to go through a certain channel and certain way of doing things when you just want to go and have the the these things, and you'll have to end up being on lifetime supply of hormones, possibly at the most. Um, you know, then that's kind of there, but it's basically that way. But then the detransition, but they're actually going to be willing to take and actually support the detransition than supporting the transition. Texas will not do it. Texas will not sit there and support it. It's pretty much basically all these red states are not wanting to support trans people. You know, you go and you know, just going across the border literally give is one of those things where um there are a few places that, even looking for a job, there's actually a handful of places that I will not work, not because I would be good for the job, but because it's related to law and related to things that are there. Like, I will not work in a public um, governmental facilities or doing for schools um, in North Dakota because of the issue of the care of taking away trans lives and not allowing for trans people to um, and doing the same thing with a lot of these other places. Like, there's a lot that is that way, and it's the same thing. It's really tough when you have places that you go to certain states. They will take away your rights. They'll take away the ability for you to even have correct documentation because they don't want it. They don't literally want you existing. They want you. They don't want to play. They don't want you around because they think that you're a bad human being. When in reality, a lot of these people that don't want you around have done other things, that they're willing to stand by and support a regime that is Donald Trump, and keeping him in power and keeping him in check, and always making sure that this country is built like a dictatorship rather than a democracy, rather than a form of democracy in this case. And being forced into communism or being forced into doing certain things that pertain to being forced that you have to follow what I tell you and that's what you have to do. Telling you how to live a life is not. The United States does not have that. The United States has never been one to tell you how to live your life completely. They have done some things where you have the alcohol and you have the cigarettes and things like that. But but that's just there to help protect the entirety of the public itself, and not just the human being telling you can do this or you can't do that. A lot of actually what they're doing is they're using that same thing to say that they're using to ban trans people is because they're doing it in guise to protecting the children. They do this all the time. They want to use it to say, hey, we're going to protect our children because we don't want our children following into those footsteps. Well, there are a lot of children out there that do not want to go to, that do not to go to private school and be taught a certain way through Christianity and being forced to do that, and or being told that they have to follow the Ten Commandments and being forced to put into schools when that's not right. If you don't want LGBTQ in schools, don't put Christianity in schools. Don't put Christian values in schools. Don't put LGBTQ values in schools. That's just how it should be. If you don't want LGBTQ being taught in schools, I don't want Christianity being taught in our schools. I literally stand by that statement right there. If you don't want it in our schools, then don't put Christianity, because this country is built upon 100% built upon various different religious values. And yes, this country follows the Ten Commandments in some way, shape, or form, but we don't directly follow the Ten Commandments because of, sometimes we make laws around those things, but we are not willing to follow the importance of that this country was built upon freedom to have a religion, freedom to follow a religion, freedom to make that decision. We should be able to have the ability to um, we should have the ability to worship whatever religion we want, making sure that the religion that we support is that we support the the ability to make sure that every human being has the right to be part of any religion they want, or no religion at all. Because you should be able to support Muslims. You should be able to support the importance of that with that you should be able to have the ability to support all religions, even religion that does not believe in that way. But there are a lot of people who will claim that they are Christian in this country, but they are not. But then they do not act like they are Christian. They are sitting there worshiping idols, sitting there worshiping a idol worshiping that should not be going on. Even as a Christian myself, you should only be worshiping God and Jesus Christ. You should not be sitting there worshiping idols of Donald Trump, or worshiping idols of other things. But that's your right to make that decision and worship how you choose. But if you are going to claim that you are a Christian and claim that you follow the Bible, then you should not be worshiping false idols and things like that. And that's kind of right there with a lot of these things that there's a lot of people that are out worshiping these things that are not right. But that's your own choice and your own belief. But don't push it into making sure that everybody else has to follow your belief, and follow that you need to follow Donald Trump, you need to follow him, you need to follow this, you need to follow him, or follow anything other than what you should be following. If you claim yourself to be a Catholic, you should be following what the Pope. If you're a Catholic, you should be following what the Pope. You should be following your leaders of the church, instead of following the leader of Donald Trump. There are like J.D. Vance is if I'm not mistaken, I might be slightly wrong on this, but I think that that Trump is supposed to be J.D. Vance is supposed to be is part of the Catholic Church, but I don't think he follows the Catholic Church, to be honest. And it's like, if you're going to follow and believe these things, you need to follow the Pope and follow actually what he's wanting you to do as well. There may not but you may not always agree with everything. There are a lot of things that if you're in the with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you follow the prophet, you follow the in that regard, you follow that, but you also follow God and actually hear from the Spirit and listen and actually be there for it. But I will tell you some other things that people need to spend their time and actually listen and follow and do what church you belong to, and actually do it, and not just follow and then say just. But there are a lot of churches out there that do not follow the teachings of the Bible, and because one of the things um that you should be following in the Bible is loving your neighbor, and there are a lot of people not who will not um show love to their neighbor. There are a lot of people who believe that Canada should become the 51st state when that's our neighbor. That's a country that is no longer supporting us because of the things we're doing to them, not showing love, not being compassionate for them. You know, there are people who would probably be happy that Mexico would not be around, or trying to get rid of things when we should be helping, you know, them, and trying to figure out ways to help our neighbor instead of hindering our neighbor. You know, and but yet we are wanting to take over Cuba. Cuba is technically a neighbor to us because all you have to do is go by ocean to get there. And things, and they're starving Cuba. They're wanting to. Trump wants to take Cuba. Trump wants to do that, and you know, and Russia not playing ball with Ukraine, and wanting more land for what it's worth, and thinking that they're able to um, thinking that you're able to take it, and thinking you're going to be wanting what you want, but in reality, you know, you Russia's been trying to take Ukraine for quite some time, and has gotten ground in some areas, but is now losing more ground. Has absolutely lost more ground today than, you know, is actually losing, because, you know, a lot of times you may say that you have the best army, you may have the best in weaponry and everything, but you don't have to have the best weaponry and the best have the biggest army in the world to be able to defend yourself. Strategy and being able to you know, you don't have to have, you know, you can have 500 men going after a 100 men army, and you're going to look at the 100 men army and only say 50 died, and the 500 men died because the 100 army knew what to do and knew how to strategize and knew how to actually be there, you know. So you don't have to have the biggest army to win. You just have to have the best strategy and the best things to do that, because, you know, within Ukraine, they recently just started attacking the using drones to attack Moscow, literally Moscow itself, and they're literally taking and taking out infrastructure that, you know, that they didn't think would be possible. You know, they're like, Ukraine is, you know, when Trump said basically, oh, you don't have the cards, you don't have the, like, told Zelensky that you don't have the cards. Zelensky has the cards. Zelensky knew, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, they said a year ago that, and look at where Ukraine's at right now. Ukraine has not been taken over yet fully, and no, Zelensky knows what he's doing. A lot of people think that, you know, Ukraine is some people thought Ukraine was going to fall within a year, and it hasn't. It's literally standing on its own 2 feet and actually fighting against this war. Iran, Trump thought it was going to be easy to take over, and it's not that easy. It's not that easy when you have Um. Okay, we do need to go downward then. It's not that easy, you know? And, of course, a couple other things that have been also going on is, with this war with Iran, there was drone a drone strike that hit a. Now, thankfully, nobody got hurt within the drone strike on the UAE. Um, uh, in the sense of the nuclear fallout didn't happen, but the UAE got hit with three drones. Two of them got taken down. One of them hit a part of a nuclear plant, and then there was like another one that they aren't telling you that it's a thing, but it was a mushroom cloud. Like there was probably a nuclear thing going on. Um. Um. No, I made the mistake again. Um. But it's like.